Is there a moment where you just thought, that was my favourite gig ever? Is there one that you put to that?
Loads. But how do you pick your favourite one? As a punter, probably REM at Glastonbury, 2000,
wasn't it?
2003.
Oh, was it 3? Okay.
So it's a year. Was it? I'll talk about it.
I think it might have been 2000. Have they done it twice?
I think so, yeah. And I've got a feeling it's 2003.
Okay.
What is it now? 20? Yeah, 2003.
Hazy.
So it was, not only was it a magic moment because I'd met them in the afternoon when they arrived on site. I'm a massive REM fan. So I met them in the afternoon when they arrived on site because our porter cabin was in the same enclosure as theirs. So I got to meet them. And then...
Hang on. There's a famous photograph.
Yeah.
Mr. Photographer Chris here.
In the
NME.
Yeah. The lightsabers.
Yeah.
Who
was in that picture?
Georgia Gill. So this isn't a quick fire on this, is it? But
No.
So me and Craig, massive REM fans, and
that's Craig, the beautiful drummer from the Inspiral Carpets.
Sadly no longer with us. But so we figured out. To be honest, we went down there, and I didn't realise we're on the same stage on the same day as REM. I knew they were playing over the weekend, but when it dawned on us, because we played sometime in the afternoon, we were like early doors, but on the pyramid stage. When it dawned on us that REM are probably going to arrive in this paddock later on, and one of these cabins will be theirs. So let's stick around as long as we can, and hopefully we'll get to meet them. Because a lot of these festivals, you get moved on. Once you've done your gig, you get moved out. You can't.
Oh, really? Do you?
Because it's like Echo and the Bunnymen need it now, so you're going to have to get out. So,
so you got lots of tea and coffee just to make sure that you were going to be able to speak to them in a really composed manner. Yeah,
you know what actually happened.
I do. You told me the story before.
We got battered. We were battered, and I think it was like dusk. It was coming to dusk.
# Red Stripes.
So it was me and Craig. I can't remember. I don't think the rest of the band were there. I think they might have left and gone back up north or whatever, or back to the hotel. And we are there, me, Craig, little Georgia.
And that's Craig's daughter.
Yeah. She was like 3 or 4 at the time.
Right.
And she'd got some lightsabers. I think they bought these lightsabers on site to keep her occupied, and she's like playing with everybody doing that. Peter Buck and Mike Mills arrived in the paddock, and me and Craig spotted them. There they are. So we went over and started talking to them, and they were being really nice. We were just fucking gibbering. I'm a big fan of it. It's great listening to you. And then, so they're there in conversation. So then Michael Stipe arrived, and what does he do? He comes right over to us because he can see his mates out of the band, and us lights. He didn't know who we were at the time, but he comes over, and me and Craig, Michael Stipe's come over. Let's introduce ourselves. So Craig is such an REM fan that Georgia is named Georgia because that's where they're from.
Where they're from?
So that was what he wanted to say.
Amazing.
And what came out was... Because it wasn't just drinking juice this, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm there like, I love you, and then all afternoon I'd been doing this thing with to keep Georgia occupied, or to keep her entertained. I was throwing sweets up and catching them in my mouth and peanuts. So she's I'm trying to talk to Michael Stipe, trying to sound,
human.
Yeah. And she just says, Clint, show him that trick you've been doing all day. So like, something I start throwing these fucking toffees up, sweets, peanuts, whatever. And I can't do it. And they're bouncing all over the place. I swear one bounced off Michael Stipe's shoulder or his head. I was sending into it was his head, but it bounced off him, and it was just like, I could see all this in slow motion, thinking, you absolute twat.
We supported the Lumineers on an arena tour at the tail end of 2019. And so like playing the O2, I was like, I am just like playing my bass at the O2, and then like people putting all their phones in the air and stuff in the slow songs. And I was like, I'm just going to definitely look around the room for this for sure.
And is that in an arena like that, when it is so big, is the only thing you're seeing those mobile phone lights? I'm assuming you can't see the whites of anyone's eyes there, can you?
You can see the people at the front, but then like sometimes when they bring the house lights up and you see all of those people, it's absolutely bananas, but it's cool. And the same with festivals and stuff, when you can see all the people, when you play in the day and you can see all those people, that's really cool.
Do you thrive off it? Do you like that though?
Love it.
Is it? Yeah.
Bloody love it. Yeah, totally.
Why would you not? Honestly, I mean, yeah. Why would you not love that?
People are like, are you missing live music? And I'm like, people are like, you rely on external validation. I'm like, yeah, like you don't. When you go in the office in the morning, nobody watches you for half an hour in silence and then claps at what you're doing. Like, like there's a certain amount of narcissism and like a strange personality that craves that. It's like I want to go to work and everyone be quiet and listen to what I'm doing and then give me a round of applause.
And then buy a T-shirt with my name on it.
Yeah, buy a T-shirt with my name on it and buy me a drink afterwards, and I'm going to get drunk. Like, just.
That's it.
Absolutely. When you break it down to what it is, it's like, come and look at me do my job in silence. Like, it's a certain amount of neediness.
When you put it like that, it's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Imagine if everybody just was like operated like that in normal person jobs.
So what have you been up to this week?
Well, I must bring up, so Tim's Twitter listening party last week was an album by Teenage Fan Club. And back in the day, as they say, I was in a band called Nimbus, this kind of jazz funk outfit.
How back in the day, Chris?
Well, 1998, 97, 98.
That is back in the day.
Yeah, pre-internet.
Pre-internet.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel sick.
I know. Can you imagine? This sounds lovely. But we played on the same bill as Teenage Fan Club. And
wow.
it was called the Longest Day Festival. It was in Kelvin Grove Park in Glasgow. And it was a really interesting lineup. So Teenage Fan Club headlined. My band were playing. There was a band called Astrid. There was a band, there was the Bathers, Speeder, Toaster. Yeah, there's some names
all
there.
The years.
Yeah,
all the years.
Well, yeah, I think one of the bands, I can't even work out which one it was, but featured one of John Lennon's children. I can't even remember which one it was. Yeah, I think they got quite well known for a couple of months because of that. But yeah, I kept a couple of reviews from there, and so I'll just read you a couple of little bits. Because this was great.
What is this review from? Where are you reading this from?
I can't even work out where these are from. I think
one
of them was
Scotch paper or something?
Yeah, I think The List was one. Do you know
yes,
The List?
yeah.
So one was The List. I can't remember, but let me see. Where's Nimbus? So this was a good one, but it's not until the arrival of Nimbus that the atmosphere vaults permanently from balmy restlessness to that of genuine abandoned festivality. Right, no, it gets better. Spearheading a free-form prog beard-tugging jazz revival, Nimbus possess an almost supernatural ability to have everyone dancing along like acid-ravaged whirligigs. See, that's a good review. We were banging.
Is that a good review? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. Amidst all those words.
Well,
there's a lot of words in there.
There's a lot of words in an order.
Yeah. Then there was another one which said, Nimbus's rhythmic jazz funk kept up a driving pace throughout numerous solos and got people up on their feet even when the sun stayed stubbornly behind the clouds. Yeah. That is
a belter.
Yeah. But then,
can you remember the audience though? Can you remember the audience reaction? Was that pretty much it?
It was
feeling like, yeah, they're liking this.
Thought we nailed it. Yeah, we absolutely nailed it. Then I went online and Googled Longest Day, Kelvin Grove Park, and and then found this belter. Nimbus offered some welcome variety with their mainly instrumental jazz funk, but they too flattered to deceive in a set overladen with saxes. Right, so, overladen with saxes. Guess who was the only sax player in the band? Yes.
What, were you playing 3 or 4 at a time, or what?
It was just the one sax, but it was overladen with it.
Out your ass.
Yeah, it was overladen with it. And so, I'm just wondering, I'm just going to check any bands out there. What is the longest between having a gig and then actually reading a shit review of it? In it, I hadn't.
Leiden.
I've got so that was in the Glasgow Herald.
I mean, I saw this band last night, Nimbus, right? And there must have been 30, 40 saxophone players on at the same time. It was, I mean, I'd say it was overladen.
It was overladen, and if I'm honest, it flattered to deceive. Which I've never understood as a phrase. Never.
I went to see Michael Jackson on Dangerous Tour.
That was Alex. That was Alex's first gig.
It was your first gig?
That was his first gig.
Yes, Johnny.
Alex, that's the universe.
Yes.
And then something weird happened there.
Go on.
The tickets that I could afford were like near the back.
You were at Leeds. You played Roundhay Park.
No, I didn't go to. I went Wembley.
You went to Wembley, did you?
Were you in London by then, or
Wembley Stadium.
right?
Yeah. And I took my wife along, and we were near the back, but halfway we had to come down a few steps around the tier of Wembley and then get drinks. And then when we went back in, I said to the usher, I said, listen, you've got to let us here because it's too cramped up there. My wife's pregnant. Just made it up. He let us in and we got really good seats. Really good. Really. She was really pregnant. I found out that week.
Amazing.
I know. I didn't even know. So that is something I will always remember. Always.
What's your strangest gig? But I don't know if you've answered that already. I'm not sure.
We've done some. I mean, when we were in America, we had to do a lot of these radio shows because what you do in America is you turn up at a town or a city, and then you have to do a sign in the record store, and then you have to go and do something for the radio, and then it's the gig in the evening. So a few of these, we did a few performances for these radio shows, and we were down in Louisiana. And
bloody hell!
It got really sketchy where, for some reason, they wanted us to mime. So, and we were just like, oh God, we don't bloody mime. And we had no instruments.
Done Top of the Pops.
Yeah, well, yeah. But we'd given, and they'd hired some instruments. So we thought these instruments were hired for us. So we got on stage and we weren't big fans of miming. As soon as we started jumping around, the CD started jumping. So we kind of just were pissing about. We ended up giving all the instruments away to the audience. And then didn't really know, but then when we got backstage, the instruments had belonged to the promoter, and the promoter's brother was the local sheriff. And then a fight broke out because of this, what was going on. Someone got hit, and then all of a sudden we were in the car park, hands on head, sheriffs with their guns pulled like this, and we had to do that thing, when you had to kind of pay off the police, so counting it out in the back of the police car.
Shut up.
And then we got in the vehicle and then we drove out of state. Honestly, that was a bit of a scary one.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a chapter all on its own in your autobiography.
Well, yeah. And I remember there was a rap band on, Digital Underground. Remember Digital Underground?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
They were quite hardcore rap geezers. And
Yeah,
they
they were.
They were looking at us and go, you guys are fucking crazy. Like some simple West Country bumpkins.
Hello, my lovers. Who do you want on this keyboard then?
Yeah.